Buckingham Palace, 30 January 2026. In an unprecedented public rebuke, Buckingham Palace has released a sharply coordinated statement condemning Thomas Markle SR, estranged father of Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, for what the royal household describes as a malicious, sustained campaign of deceit, distortion, and financial coercion. It is a denunciation unlike any issued before, more prosecutorial than ceremonial, and striking in both tone and timing. Issued jointly by the offices of King Charles III, Prince William, Princess Catherine, and Princess Anne. The statement marks the first occasion on which the royal family has directly and collectively addressed the years-long media conduct of Thomas Markle. The language is unambiguous. Mr. Thomas Markle is not, nor has he ever been, an official representative of the royal family. His actions in recent weeks and across the past 8 years have crossed all boundaries of decency. We categorically reject his falsehoods, condemn his manipulations, and affirm that the dignity of the crown will not be compromised by extortion attempts masquerading as paternal concern. The wording carries legal weight and strategic clarity, and it arrives just days after a now-viral interview aired on US network KTLA, in which Thomas Markle claimed that Princess Catherine and other senior royals psychologically terrorized his daughter Meghan, forcing her and Prince Harry into exile. In the interview, Markle accused the Princess of Wales of orchestrating a whisper campaign that allegedly led to Meghan's emotional collapse, asserting that Catherine didn't want an outsider in the family and made sure the pressure drove them away. The palace response leaves no room for ambiguity. It considers those claims fabricated and defamatory. This is not the first time Thomas Markle has publicly criticized the royal family or his own daughter, but the scale, venom, and specificity of his latest allegations have pushed the institution into a defensive posture it has long resisted. Since 2018, when he notoriously staged paparazzi photographs days before the royal wedding, Markle has maintained a troubling pattern of selling personal information, releasing private correspondence, and partnering with tabloid outlets in both the United States and the United Kingdom. In July 2019, leaked emails revealed that he had negotiated a £78,000 payment with a British tabloid in exchange for exclusive material, including what he claimed were unseen royal letters and private records. In October 2022, Meghan Markle alleged in a lawsuit later settled out of court that her father had received more than £200,000 in combined compensation from media entities between 2018 and 2021 for damaging interviews and content. Yet his most recent appearance, an emotionally charged exposé interspersed with grainy photographs, alleged handwritten notes from Meghan's youth, and what he described as unseen wedding footage, crossed a decisive line. "You don't turn your back on your father unless someone has poisoned you," Thomas Markle said during the interview, "and I know who poisoned her." He named Catherine. The accusations struck at the heart of the monarchy's most respected figure, and the response was swift. Princess Catherine, through a spokesperson at Kensington Palace, issued a rare personal statement within hours of the broadcast. "I will not dignify falsehoods with fury, but I will defend the truth. The Duchess of Sussex was received with grace, welcomed into our family, and supported through every official transition. To suggest otherwise is a deliberate fabrication." Princess Anne, often silent during media skirmishes, took a more forceful stance. In a surprise appearance at a press briefing in Sandringham on January 28, she delivered a stark warning: the monarchy is not a tabloid stage. If individuals outside this institution seek to blackmail or destabilize it for profit, they will meet not silence, but scrutiny. Royal aides confirmed that Anne personally authorized the public release of a letter sent by Thomas Markle to King Charles in December 2025. The letter allegedly demanded a settlement for emotional damages totaling £8 million, citing loss of public standing and alienation from his daughter due to alleged royal hostility. The palace legal team interpreted the letter as an extortion attempt and forwarded it to the Metropolitan Police and the Crown Prosecution Service. Prince William's office, typically restrained in its media engagement, opted instead for quiet pressure, allowing internal briefings to be shared with trusted outlets detailing years of attempted appeasement. "There was respect," one senior aide said, He was given a place at the table. What he wanted was a price tag on that chair. This is not merely a war of words. Palace sources confirm that the institution is preparing a comprehensive dossier, codenamed Winter Ledger, documenting 8 years of contact between Thomas Markle and the tabloid industry, including wire transfers from 3 major outlets between 2018 and 2025, totaling more than £310,000. A private Telegram chat group uncovered via court subpoena in which Markle allegedly shared unsourced royal gossip with freelance photographers in Los Angeles. And a secret 2023 meeting in Palm Springs with a Netflix content scout where he reportedly pitched a documentary project titled Meghan, the Lost Princess. The royal strategy now appears to be shifting from studied silence to direct confrontation, drawing a firm line between family sentiment and institutional protection. This is not about estrangement, a palace source close to King Charles said. This is about escalation. What Mr. Markle has done is not simply speak ill of his daughter or of us. He has monetized access. He has sold illusion as reality, and that is the very definition of a threat in a media age. Beneath the emotional narratives lies a legal chessboard. King Charles, determined to preserve institutional boundaries, has instructed Royal Legal Counsel to explore options, including restraining orders, to prevent further dissemination of personal or fabricated information by Thomas Markle. Cease and desist notices to media outlets promoting his claims without verification, and formal requests for assistance from U.S. authorities under cross-border defamation and harassment statutes. At the core of the palace's concern is not only the damage to Meghan's image, but the erosion of its own authority. The real danger, said a royal media advisor, is that fiction replaces memory. If we do not respond now, this becomes canon. Montecito, California. As the royal family unleashes its most direct condemnation yet, attention turns inevitably to Meghan and Harry. Their Montecito estate has remained eerily silent. No interviews, no rebuttals, no statements, only a retreat behind security gates and muted social media. Yet silence in royal conflict is rarely passive. According to insiders close to the Sussexes, Meghan was deeply shaken by her father's latest appearance, particularly his decision to invoke Princess Catherine. Sources say she did not expect him to escalate so far or to target a figure whose public image is one of resilience and restraint. This time was different, said a former Archewell staffer. He didn't just betray her. He tried to burn the whole institution down, within Archewell. Meghan reportedly convened a tense private meeting on January 29 with her core communications team to weigh damage control against disengagement. An internal document later described 2 options: a public denial paired with legal warnings, including a joint letter from Meghan and Harry threatening defamation action against broadcasters, or complete disengagement, a calculated silence designed to avoid reigniting family scandal on the eve of Archewell's proposed relaunch. The document bore the title Operation Mercury, protecting the Sussex image. Thus far, the Sussexes appear to have chosen silence, though observers caution against mistaking it for weakness. This isn't surrender, said commentator Amelia Grafton, it's strategic waiting. Meghan knows anything she says could be weaponized, especially in court. For Prince Harry, the dilemma is more complex. He has publicly defended his wife against the press and his family before, but defending her against her own father is uncharted territory. Insiders say Harry has not spoken directly with Thomas Markle since late 2018, following the staged paparazzi scandal and the leak of a private letter Meghan wrote to him. What unsettles the palace most, according to sources close to Prince William, is not Thomas Markle's betrayal but Harry's continued silence. There's a moral line here, said a Kensington Palace aide. When your spouse is targeted and your silence is deafening, people notice. William certainly does, privately. Harry has reportedly expressed concern that speaking out would resurrect long-buried family conflicts at a time when the Sussexes have recently lost major commercial partnerships. Their media value depends on controlling narrative, not inflaming scandal. Still, some within the royal family interpret his silence as complicity. Princess Anne's private secretary is said to have told a senior journalist, off the record, if Harry cannot bring himself to condemn this behavior, then he confirms he is no longer aligned with the values of the institution or the dignity of his own wife. One particularly shocking development has been the revelation of a handwritten letter sent not to Meghan or Harry, but directly to Princess Catherine. Multiple sources confirm that Thomas Markle mailed a personal message to the Princess of Wales on January 10, 2026. The letter allegedly contains both an apology and a veiled threat, an unsettling blend of regret and leverage. "You always held the cards," it reportedly reads. "Now I hold a few of my own. Let's not turn this into a war of daughters." Catherine has not publicly acknowledged the letter, but royal security teams have treated it as a potential breach. The envelope and its contents were submitted for forensic review and legal assessment. It wasn't just inappropriate, one palace source said. It was invasive. Despite the silence from Montecito, palace officials are bracing for a second wave. Rumors persist that Thomas Markle has been offered a six-figure deal by a European documentary company to tell his side in a feature-length special scheduled for late March 2026. If confirmed, the consequences could be explosive. "This is no longer about Meghan," said royal biographer Julia Easton. "This is brand warfare, and the Crown will not allow itself to be held hostage by a retired lighting director trading on proximity." Sandringham House, Norfolk. It was not a public statement that shifted the axis of royal authority, but a classified envelope hand-delivered to Princess Anne on the morning of January 25. The document, prepared by a private investigative firm long retained by the Crown, contained a timeline, transcripts, and digital evidence, allegedly demonstrating that Thomas Markle had been positioning himself commercially years before Meghan ever met Prince Harry. According to the report, this was not a father acting out of heartbreak, but a man who had systematically commodified his proximity to the monarchy. Princess Anne convened an emergency meeting the following day with a small inner circle, including Sir Edward Young, Alastair Pembroke, Lady Sarah Chatto, and the Duchess of Edinburgh. They met in the Crimson Drawing Room, a space normally reserved for quiet reflection. That day it became a war room. At the center of the evidence was a verified voice recording from mid-2015, in which Thomas Markle allegedly told an entertainment consultant, "If she lands a politician, that's one thing. But a prince, then we're talking syndication, memoirs, documentaries." 2 independent forensic teams confirmed the voice. It was enough. Princess Anne reportedly pointed to Clause 5C of the Royal Branding Charter and said, "Enforce it." On January 27, under the authority of the Privy Council and the Royal Communications Office, the Crown issued what is now known internally as the Royal Brand Ban, legally prohibiting unauthorized individuals from using royal symbols, imagery, or implied familial association for commercial gain. Though unnamed, its target was unmistakable. Archuel's dormant licensing files were quietly reviewed. This was not about punishing a father, a palace insider said. It was about protecting the institution. Amid this offensive, Princess Catherine emerged as the monarchy's silent center. She continued her public duties, appearing at a Liverpool charity event on January 28 in subdued tones, without jewelry, her demeanor resolute. "She doesn't need to speak," said one commentator. "Her silence is command." Prince William now occupies the decisive role. On the evening of January 28, lights burned late in apartment 1A as he reviewed the sealed master dossier. One note, dated August 2019, reportedly stopped him cold. A proposed memoir title pitched by Thomas Markle, father of the future queen. That, aides say, reframed everything. By midnight, William had called Princess Anne. "The era of tolerance is over," he reportedly said. On January 29, the Privy Council convened to review a proposed policy known internally as the Doctrine of Association, a framework defining who may claim affiliation with the monarchy for public or commercial purposes. The doctrine draws a sharp line between blood adjacency and sovereign authorization, carrying constitutional weight. On January 30, Kensington Palace released a brief, signed statement from William himself. "No individual outside this service may exploit proximity to the Crown for personal recognition. We stand united in protecting the dignity of this institution." He signed simply, William. It was a personal boundary, and one not open to negotiation.